The delegation sat quietly in the room, all staring in deep wonder at the sight of the closed door in front of them. The air around them pungent with the stench of impatience, fear and frustration. Everything was riding on what was going on now, what was happening behind that door. This nonsense had carried on for far too long. We looked up at the side of the board next to the door, displaying a single message. 59.885 seconds. A simple amount of time that has haunted and humiliated us for over a decade now. Every time we challenge it, and every time we fail, we haven't even come close to that time frame. In fact, the fastest time we have ever had was 3 hours, 22 minutes, 8 seconds. A mind-numbing time. The challenge we were presented had no time limitations either. But the humans, those damn terrifying humans, had put it there to taunt us. I sat in my seat, considering the reason we were here, as the Varklakian delegate held his head high. Though it had been 3.5 hours, he was more boisterously certain of himself than ever before. For nearly a century, humanity had terrified and awed the galaxy in equal measure. Their warship fleets, ever expanding in size and scope, defied and decimated the power-hungry masses of emperors and warlords. The scope of their economy drowning the galaxy in debt, then promptly flooding it with more wealth than we knew what to do with in short order. The culinary arts created by mankind's addiction to food, creating a new resurgence in indulgence, leading to illegal religious cults surrounding foodstuffs. The worst of them, the so-called Children of Sea. Human military technology, not only far surpassing us by sheer absurdity, but sheer volume of arms, with human manufacturing being so far above the galaxy it beggars belief. We, the Galactic Council, had grown terrified of human expansion. Paranoia, fear, distaste, and instinct brought the galaxy to a standstill as humanity took its place on the Council. Making changes, then brandishing a plasma-wrought titanium fist to bear when challenged. Although humans were more a boon than anything, we all agreed in equal measure they had to go. At the very least, we would be happy if they left us alone. And so, after months of petitions, challenges and lawsuits, all of which they flawlessly won, they presented us with a challenge. Tired of the constant badgering, as they called it, humanity presented the galaxy with a simple challenge. If they managed to complete it without raging, humanity would withdraw, isolate and disappear. We feared humans, but we knew they were as good as their word. We failed. Every damn time. Humanity made every single possible attempt to accommodate us, going so far as to completely rewrite the system they offered to us for this challenge. They rebuilt control systems, so it would be as easy a matter as taking a breath of air to attempt the challenge. I myself attempted the challenge dozens of times. After 6 hours of it, I could stand no more. Throwing chairs and breaking windows, even going so far as to, in a blind, hate-fueled rage, injure one of my podlings. My brood wife has yet to forgive me for that incident. A scene I knew to be spread many times across the galaxy 100 times over. Every time thus far, it has ended the same way. My train of thought is cut short by the door loudly being bashed open, followed by a cacophony of human-focused racial slurs, mixed with frustrated questions, and a litany of hastily gasped curses and swear words. Every time in a different tongue, but always the same general feeling of intense frustration and anger. He lasted longer than I thought. He is a Dagthorian, a race of strong, car-sized crab-like people that serve as the bulk of the Council's military ground forces and shock troops. And he is wailing like a petulant child, while humanity's so-called legionnaires carry him squirming like a live dinner platter out of the room with smiles on their faces. They all wear helmets. I cannot see their faces, but I know they are all smiling. The Varklakian diplomat sits with his mandibles open in shock, his chitinous form taking on a slightly darker hue, as he realizes his 5-year trained champion has failed humanity's challenge. He sniffles, then crashes to the floor, bawling like a newborn podling, bashing his claws against the floor. They allowed us every grace they could think of. They allowed us to leave the room, go somewhere quiet and enjoy a beverage. They allowed us to enjoy a clutch of any food we wanted, in any amount we wanted. Anything we could possibly ask to do to finish the challenge, any cheat we could find, any edge we could get. No matter what, if we were multi-tentacled ambidextrous beasts or psionic masters of psychic manipulation, anything. They always accommodated us in every way they could, even going so far as to strain resources to create new technologies to do it. We always failed. Every god-damned time. The Varklakians were the first to attempt the creation of a purpose-made, purpose-trained, purpose-built individual to attempt the challenge. He failed. The human ambassador stepped forward, his smug smirk ever present, approached us and chuckled as we looked at him in despair. Well, he got as far as the radio tower, further than any, but a little accident let him fall, bounce off the snowman, then way back down to the very start. If he hadn't panicked, he might have saved it, but alas, once again, it's a failure. He chuckled again and walked away, closing proceedings for the day, leaving us all groaning in despair. The challenge left us all broken, yet again. All we had to do was not rage, not get angry, not throw chairs, not threaten genocide, not try to destroy the office out of sheer blistering frustration-fueled hatred. But each time, we failed. What is this challenge? Play a simple video game made by a developer centuries ago? We don't even have to finish it. We just need to go for a single session playing this game without becoming irate or stressed. All we have to do is play it and stay calm, and we can be rid of them once and for all. We have tried time and time again for over a decade, each week, sometimes multiple days in a row, a new challenger would attempt it. And for a decade, each time it ended the same way. Broken furniture, shattered monitors, destroyed hardware, threats of murder, violence, all within the same few minutes, as a gaggle of hastily gasped curse words, desperate prayers, and an endless litany of imaginary racial slurs. Every single time. What is this video game? What evil terror of a game could they bring on us to bring this reaction? Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.